Miles is an amazing motocross racer, and this morning he competes in a race. However, when the chain on his bike breaks, he loses part of the race. Feeling angry and frustrated, he watches as the winner celebrates his victory. Miles and his father, Chuck, approach the winner, Sam, to ask for an extra chain since they are quite poor. Although Sam tries to give them the chain, his father is incredibly rude and refuses to give it to them. Miles and Chuck feel disheartened, but then a girl named Sarah steals the part and gives it to them. They quickly fix the bike and prepare for the next race. Everyone races with great skill while Sam is in the lead with Miles close behind. It looks like it's going to be a tie, but Miles manages to pull ahead and win the race. Sam congratulates him and invites him to a party, but Miles declines. Chuck advises him to go, saying it'll help him make connections in the world of motocross. Meanwhile, in the research lab, one of the dogs, AXL, has escaped. The scientist, Andric, immediately sends a search team to retrieve the robot dog while it wanders around the city. Later that night, Miles attends Sam's party, but he's not really enjoying himself. He watches as Sam and his friends use a blowtorch to burn a damaged car, laughing and filming the whole thing. Miles decides to explore the house and admires Sam's collection of bikes. He bumps into Sarah and they have a good time chatting. Back at home, Miles talks to his father about how unfair it is that he can't be the best national racer due to a lack of resources. One morning, Sam invited Miles to a ranch to practice riding. However, while Miles was distracted, Sam's friends added something to his fuel tank. Miles was unaware of what had happened and confidently went out for a ride. Unfortunately, his motorcycle suddenly stopped working, causing him to have a terrible accident. To make matters worse, Sam and his friends captured the fall on camera and left Miles all alone. After removing the corrupted liquid from his tank and adding fresh fuel, Miles tried to start his motorcycle, but it wouldn't work. As he was trying to figure out what to do, he heard a noise coming from an abandoned container nearby. To his surprise, he found Axel, a robotic dog. At first, Miles was scared and tried to leave, but Axel followed him. Terrified, Miles continued to drive until AXL got hurt. Feeling guilty, Miles returned to help the injured dog and discovered that it was about to self-destruct. In a moment of connection, Miles stopped the countdown and saved Axel's life. Later, AXL connected to Miles's phone, and he learned how to fix Axel. The next day, Sam and his friends made a mean video about Miles, but Sarah interrupted and demanded to know where he was. Meanwhile, Miles continued to work on repairing Axel. When he finally finished, he removed the muzzle and discovered that the robot dog had weapons inside. However, AXL didn't harm Miles, and they spent a long time playing together on the ranch. Unfortunately, being out in the open for too long led the scientists at Crane Systems to find them.
Alright, so Agent Berman is preparing to destroy AXL's system. But Andric stops him and says he's interested in seeing how Axel interacts with a human, so he thinks Miles is a good test subject. Meanwhile, Sarah arrives at the scene looking for Miles, but Axel sees her first and almost attacks her. Miles stops him and tells the dog that Sarah is a friend, and Axel calms down, and his eyes turn blue. Later that night, Miles and Sarah discuss what to do with Axel. Sarah thinks they should return him, but Miles points out bullet holes in the pseudo-animal's body, so it's obvious he hasn't had good treatment. After their discussion, the couple dances, their love for each other evident. This scene is observed in the lab, where Berman suggests they should give Miles and Sarah a reward and take Axel away because they're poor. But Andric says the dog is becoming extremely sophisticated due to human contact, so they'll keep observing them. The next morning, Miles and Sarah cover Axel with a sheet and take him back with them. They stop at a gas station to refuel, and there Axel hacks the machine so they don't have to pay, and does the same with the ATM. Sarah's mother, Joanna, asks where her daughter is. Sarah is in an abandoned house where she does a little graffiti, and Axel watches her drawings and tracks all the designs she makes with different hand movements. Then, the dog shows them a presentation of himself by Crane Systems. The couple realizes that Axel was designed as a weapon, intended for killing other humans on the battlefield.
Axel dispenses a biometric device that Miles touches, which permanently pairs them together. Meanwhile, Sam arrives at the abandoned house where the couple is and behaves aggressively. Sarah confronts him, and Miles unleashes Axel to support his partner. The dog is ready to defend his owners, but Miles orders him not to attack, and Sam leaves. Andric is pleased that the dog follows all of Miles's commands perfectly, but Berman points out that Miles could have used Axel to kill Sam. Sarah is angry with Miles because her mother, Joanna, works as a housekeeper for Sam's family, and the incident could cause problems for her family. She believes it would be a good idea to inform someone older about what happened. They leave Axel there and decide to tell Miles's father. Sam and his friends return, determined to attack Axel. However, when the dog spots Sam, it refrains from attacking him because Miles had previously ordered it not to. Sam pours a large amount of fuel on the ground and lures the dog over, instructing his friends to live stream what he is about to do. Excitedly, Sam brandishes his flamethrower. Meanwhile, the boys are at Chuck's house, confessing the truth to him. Sarah agrees to return Axel to the military. Suddenly, Sarah watches the live video of Sam and realizes what is happening. She and Miles rush out, but forget to bring the biometric scanner. At the abandoned house, Sam burns Axel until his systems are damaged, and he shuts down. The two scientists watching the events can only scream at the screen in horror. The couple arrives to find Axel completely burned and damaged. However, they manage to wake him up and put him in a truck. Meanwhile, a government agent enters Chuck's house, shows him a gun, and interrogates him about Miles. Chuck notices the biometric scanner Miles left on the table. The agent rummages through the garage, but Chuck confronts him with a bow and orders him to drop his gun. Andric screams in anger, seeing things spiral out of control. Berman secretly sends an email to Captain Weber. Miles and Sarah take Axel to a 3D printing station where they design and print the parts to repair his damaged body and cables. Axel sends a message that he has been fixed, and the reboot will take less than 3 hours. While they wait for the reboot, the kids hug and have a good time. Now that Axel is active, Andric locates him and sends other agents to retrieve him. Miles and Sarah hide from the agents, and when they are about to capture Axel, he reboots and knocks them out with the couple's help. Axel checks his memory and heads to kill Sam, while Miles and Sarah follow him to stop him. Sam and his friends are at a caravan festival with partying and bonfires. AXL arrives and causes panic, but his only target is Sam. Miles and Sarah arrive and find Sam fighting Axel. Sam aims at Axel with a flamethrower, but it runs out of power. Miles steps in and stops AXL, but a fleet of drones attack him. Andric observes how the drones use electric shocks to stop Axel. Government agents arrive and muzzle Axel, and they take him and the couple to the Crane Systems laboratory. Andric is demanding that Miles give him the biometric key, but Miles is trying to explain that Axel is a living creature that needs care to survive. However, Andric insists that Axel is just a machine. When Miles refuses to give Andric the key, he traps Sarah in a laser cage, thinking that Axel will attack her if she tries to escape. But Sarah uses the laser to create graffiti art. She had created it in the abandoned house. The robot dog recognizes her movements and knows she is a friend. AXL turns on Andric and Berman, causing them to flee. However, they are soon captured by the military. Andric is arrested as Berman had apparently told them everything. Meanwhile, Sarah decides to leave peacefully, but Miles and the robot dog escape from the agents. The agents follow Miles and Axel as they cross a field. They both fall off a cliff, and Miles gets injured. The robot dog scans Miles's body and discovers that his arm is broken. The dog tries to help, but Miles tells him to go. Axel runs away, but a group of drones attack it. Before self-destructing, AXL says goodbye to Miles with a loving look. Captain Weber accuses Andric of posting Axel's codes on the dark web. Meanwhile, Miles and Sarah decide to attend the same art school. Captain Weber says that they will reassemble Axel in the near future, and they will be in charge of containing it. In the final scene, Miles takes the biometric scanner and activates it. To his and his girlfriend's surprise, they receive notifications from AXL on their phones. They smile, implying that the dog is still alive in software form.